then, what are your pet peeves about press releases and or working with public relations representatives? What are the things you really hate? Manny?
Let's see. Oh, I can't do that. I can't talk to you. Oh, I don't want to hear about it. No. I don't want to do that. It's just, that's just a waste of time, and people just get deep sixed. Because we try in every instance we can to get a voice behind whatever the story is. And if somebody is not going to be willing to talk to us, then we're not really interested in, there's too many other things to do. So, that'd be my opinion.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we want to add the camera in, sometimes people love us, and then sometimes they hold up the cross and say, get back. But I think for us, what happens a lot of times if we get a press release and it's pretty urgent, it's pretty earth-shattering, we need to act right then. We will call the PIO, and if they can't do it, many will say, well, I can get so-and-so to talk, but there's sometimes that person can't talk, and we need somebody to talk, and so the PIO might have to do it, and sometimes they're like, well, I don't want to be on television, I don't like this, and it's the same thing, like, we'll only try so many more times, other than that, it just goes to the wayside, and we can move forward in another organization. And we know that everyone is not TV, they might not be TV savvy, but, you know, we're not out here a lot of times doing a 2020 expose. We just want emotional sound bites that we can get the facts and figures from a press release. We just want that. You know, why it's going to be great. It's going to be great because kids, you know, that are kids now, when they're adults, they're going to have this walking trail. I mean, it's just that emotional stuff that we can write, but it's better coming from you all. So that's probably one of the things for us. And there have been times that we've called and the PIO doesn't want to talk, they don't want to get anyone else to talk, and we're like, okay, well, plan B, we'll go on. So.
Yeah, and that's really where it comes down to relationships. They're go-to PR people because you know that they'll help you. And, you know, it's not that you're ignoring anyone else, but when you have to wait 4 hours for a phone call back in our business, you know, that could easily have missed our deadline. So people who are willing to give cell phone numbers, people who are quick to get someone else on the phone. And we know it's hard because when we call someone and say we'd love to do a story, they think, okay, 2 o'clock tomorrow would be great. We're like, no, like an hour from now. So we get that we're interrupting your day. So those PR folks who, you know, really are very accommodating, I'd say in some ways probably get a little more coverage, who volunteer story ideas and aren't offended if we don't take them. You know, keep them coming. It's not personal. We just didn't get to it that time. So, you know, always keep that positive relationship. And the ones that we've gotten reactions from that are more negative, that say things, believe it or not, like, can't you read? You want to be like, okay, perhaps we'll move in another direction. So we do get that. So you can imagine how nice it is when we get the pleasant experience, because we'll take that any day.
Thoughts on press releases from the print folks?
If you have a great story and you don't want to be on the radio and you don't want to be on TV, but they make excellent points. There are PR people in town that you know, that you can trust, that just know how to deal with us, and then there are some who don't. One person who's really good, and I'll throw out her name because it's a positive, is Jane Oliva. She used to be with the city. She's now with Keystone. Jane knows what stories we want. Jane knows that if I don't do it, she's not going to be offended by it. She knows deadlines. She knows whatever. I would go follow Jane for a day if you want to know, in my opinion, how to do it right. The one thing you cannot do is lie to us. And not too long ago, we had a story develop. Someone who we deal with a lot told us a bold-faced lie. We caught this person with the lie. I do not trust this person anymore. So don't lie to us. Yeah, learn how to deal with learn how to manage the media, the different media that are out there. And then another pet peeve is someone will call us at the last minute to go cover something. In 2 hours, we're going to have whatever. That would have been great, but I don't have the staff now to go do it. So yeah, there are some very good PR people out there you can learn from, but some are not so good.
So what kind of time frames do you want press releases? Say if we have an event coming up in a month, when would you like to see those press releases?
I would say as soon as you know about it, let me know. But also understand that it might be good to remind me a week out, 3-4 days out. But so.
I would real quick like to add one thing Paul said, which he did a great job saying, that a lot of times someone will call and they'll say, hey, in 2 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour, we're gonna give a check for $5,000. We just found out about it. That kind of stuff, again, we try to get to them if possible, but if you know something might be happening in the day, if you can give us a call and say, hey, I know it's early, but at 2 o'clock, something is gonna go down. We can't give you all the specifics. We can at least maybe plan a little bit in our day to have someone maybe available around 2 o'clock. So when it comes down at 2 o'clock, we're not just sitting there going like, stop editing, stop writing, let's send a crew out the there. So even just a heads up, we can't give a lot of information, but you know, something pretty interesting, visual, your viewers, readers will appreciate is going down at 2 o'clock. That just helps us maybe just position our crews a little bit more in that direction.
I think what they're
Actually, what-
learning, what they're telling you is learn to take no for an answer.